Happy Monday, scholars. Miss Fijaroni here. I'm going to work out a couple of these problems for you. So solving multi-step equations, you did this all last week. Remember, you always want to use the distributive property, to get rid of parentheses. And then you want to combine any like terms you see on either side of your equation, and then you just basically solve for your variable. So for number 1, 6a plus 5a equals negative 11. I see that I have like terms because they both have an a. So 6a plus 5a is 11a. So 11a equals negative 11. Okay, well, now I'm going to go ahead and isolate my variable. So 11a equals negative 11. I know the opposite of multiplying by 11 is dividing by 11. 11 divided by 11 is 1. So I'm left with a equals negative 11 divided by 11 is negative 1. Okay, now moving on to number 2. It's kind of the same thing. I have negative 6n minus 2n equals 16. So I have like terms to combine. If I have 6 negative n's and another 2 negative n's, that turns into negative 8n equals 16. Now to isolate the variable, I have to divide on each side by negative 8. N equals negative 2. Moving on to number 3. Okay, so I have 4x plus 6 plus 3 equals 17. So I have like terms to combine here. For x, there isn't another term that has an x, so I'm not going to combine that. But the 6 and the 3 are just constants. 6 plus 3 is 9, equals 17. So now I know I want to isolate my variable. It's being multiplied by 4 and it's being added with 9. So I'm going to subtract 9 to get rid of that first. And I'm left with 4x equals, well, 17, take away 9 would be 8. And then to find out the value of my variable, I just divide x equals 2. For number 4, same thing. I have 0 equals. I can combine these terms. 5 negative n's and 2 negative n's is negative 7n. And then I would just divide by negative 7 on both sides. I get n equals, well, 0 divided by anything is 0, so n equals 0. Number 5, once again, I have to combine my like terms. So 6r plus 6r is 12r minus 1 equals 11. I'm going to add 1 to both sides. I'm left with 12r equals 12. And I know when I divide on both sides by 12, I'm going to get r equals 1. Okay, let's look at a harder one with parentheses. So for number 12, I have parentheses, and I know I have to use the distributive property, which means I multiply the negative 5 that's outside the parentheses by the 6n and the 6. So negative 5 times 6n is negative 30n. 5 times 6 is 30. Okay, now I'm going to subtract 30 from both sides. I get 0 over here. I'm left with negative 30n equals 0. And then I'm going to divide by negative 30 on both sides. And I'm left with n equals 0. Let's do one more I'm going to do number 24. Okay, so first thing I want to do is that distributive property. So the left side of the equation is fine. There's no parentheses. 6 times 5a is 30a. 6 times 4 is 24. Now, I don't have any like terms over here or over here. But I have my variable on two different sides, and I don't like that. So I'm going to add 5a to both sides. Over here, that leaves me with negative 11 equals 35a plus 24. Now, I'm going to subtract 24 from both sides. And when I do that, I get negative 11 minus 24 is negative 35 equals 35a. Sorry. I divide on each side by 35, and I get a equals negative 1. Okay, so hopefully these examples have helped you. Make sure to show all your work and check the key, and you will get better and better every day. Thank you.